Thank you for turning to page 121. Today we're going to be all about Star Wars. This is the WOTC Star Wars that was published in 2000 until about '07 when they did their Saga edition. But this is going to be the original D20 that came out in 2000 and was revised in I think '02. And then we're going to take a brief look at this, what the rules were about briefly, and some of the supplements, and whether I continue any videos on the Star Wars WOTC's D20 game is going to be up to you guys. You're going to vote with your comments, your likes, and your views. If I get a good reception on this, I have plenty of other Star Wars from WOTC that I'd be glad to take a look at. But that's really going to be up to you guys. So today we're going to take a look at this fine book that I paid $35 for in 2000, or $35 for in the year 2000, and we still play today. We still play Star Wars when we want to play a space game, but we don't want to play Traveler or Star Frontiers. I crack this out, and everybody gets to run around as a space wizard. I'll explain a little bit about our campaign too. So today on page 121, Star Wars, the role-playing game from WOTC. Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars all of the time, to kind of parody Bill Murray's Lounge Lizard singer from the late 70s. Look it up, it's on YouTube. I remember the originals because, I'm way old. But this is the Star Wars role-playing game that was published, my copy says it was published November of 2000. I remember this being late 2000, early 2001. And I was pretty excited about it. I liked the D20 system. There, I said it. I thought it had a lot to represent. We actually looked at the D20 system. I bought the core rulebooks for 3rd edition D20 of D&D with an eye toward, should we go over to that or should we stay with what we've been playing? And I read the rules and everything, and we discussed it as a group, and we decided at the time that we would just stay with what we've been playing. A decision, by the way, I've never regretted. That being said, I enjoyed the D20 Star Wars and the D20 Traveler that was out, courtesy of the open license. Well, the open license Traveler, or Star Wars, wasn't the open license, Traveler was. But this is a Star Wars role-playing game licensed from Lucasfilms and published by WOTC. This book cost $35 back in 2000, and it says right there, November of 2000. And in it, you too can be a Jedi. You can do all kinds of powers. It's got a nice overview of stuff. It's got combat. It's got droids. A little bit of the ships, not a ton, but how you would actually play it. The biggest flaw of this version was the Jedis can't deflect blasts or anything until they are 4th level. This game was very, very tough to start at 1st level. So much so that when we were introducing new players, our group had already moved up a little bit, but we introduced both my boys later on in the 2000s and 1 or 2 other players who were playing with us for a little bit. And I let them come in at 7th level because at 7th level, frankly, that was kind of where you were ready to go. But these are nice books, very nice glossy pages. Michael Stackpole wrote a little foreword for it. Michael Stackpole of the BattleTech novels, and wrote a number of Star Wars novels. By the way, I met Michael Stackpole at Adepticon last year, or a few months ago. Super nice guy. And here we have it. A lot of illustrations from the movies. That was what they did. They talk about the 3 eras of play, which is the Old Republic. You can play in the era set just before A New Hope, which is the Phantom Menace era, the Rise of the Empire. You can go forward in time to the classic period of the Civil War, or you can play 20 years after the Battle of Endor and the Civil War. We generally play after the Battle of Endor. I don't want to recreate the story. And we actually have the Jedi Council having been reformed, and the Jedi being the ones bringing peace and justice to the universe. So I'm not going to go through the entire book. I just want to give an idea of what this is about. It does play very well. We have a blast every time we play Star Wars, and the biggest problem that they have is I make them play light side characters. I have no Sith, although they've fought a couple of Sith here and there. That can make it really a bit of a challenge for them because, player characters being what they are, they want to just start, running around slicing stuff up with their laser swords, and you can't do that if you're on the light side. take a look at the back. And there you have it. So there's our, I don't know what this sticker is from, 11/4 of 10. I bought this way back, way earlier than that. Maybe this is another copy I got somehow and I don't remember. But I'm going to show a few other things that this system had, of course. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know if there's a GM screen, I'm going to get it. And there we have it for Star Wars. This is actually pretty useful. And I realize this stuff is out of print. It is available in secondary markets and such. WOTC had the license of Star Wars till about 2010. And then they gave it up to go over to some other, or they let it go to Fantasy Flight Games, and then Edge Games is the ones that currently has it. They were an affiliate of Fantasy Flight Games. And here is Star Wars role-playing game, the Dark Side Sourcebook. This is really nice. I get my bad guys out of there. My good guys come from the Power of the Jedi Sourcebook. One of my favorite books, period. Coruscant and the Core Worlds. I love Coruscant. And then the Rebellion Era Sourcebook. These are all the hardcovers I have. I have a number of these soft covers too. I don't have everything by any stretch of the imagination, but I have a lot of it, and I've read a ton of it. And then one thing I did love was they published a kind of monthly magazine. It was about 2-3 times a year magazine, I guess I'll call it, quarterly. It ran from 2000 with issue number 1 for 10 issues to sometime around 2002. It took in the era of Attack of the Clones. So Phantom Menace was out in 99. That was what we were all excited about. That's when this was announced it was coming out under the new house system from WOTC. I was pretty excited about it, and I jumped on it right away. We've played this straight through. I do have a campaign for it. We don't play a ton by Star Wars lore. If I need something to change, I just change it. But the magazine itself went for 10 issues and had a lot of good stuff in it. It had 6 Marvelous Aliens. Those are aliens from the Marvel comic books. We had the Jedi Code, Design Your Starship, and Duel of the Fates, Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. If you're familiar with that big fight, and what Star Wars fan isn't, the Duel of the Fates is the big epic battle where Qui-Gon gets killed and then Obi-Wan is dangling off the edge and has lost his lightsaber, and things are looking bad for our hero. And this explains how he could do what he did to defeat Darth Maul. So, also, this magazine went on to give us Silent Death in Star Wars. That was pretty neat. And that's how the back was, because this was during the whole collectible era and had a bunch of inclusions and things like that inside. Most of these came in plastic wrap and had different posters and such inside. This one had a Boba Fett tattoo. Let's see, motion picture scale, episode 1 poster map, classic era, and Boba Fett tattoo were all included in here. So you got all kinds of stuff. You got fiction in here. There was fiction by the current writers of the Star Wars universe. So it was pretty nice. So, as I said at the top, if this is a game that you would like to see me do more about, I am happy to do so, but I will only do so if I see enough reception to this. If it's a lukewarm reception, not a lot of interest generated, then I'll probably just let this video be a onesie. But if you want to see more of Star Wars, please let me know. And if there's enough interest, I will be happy to accommodate. But that's all I've got today from page 121. One thing I do want to quick mention. The reason that prompted this video, I was talking to my son Adam, and I said, give me an idea for a video this week. I was a little stuck. That happens. He said, do something on Star Wars, because we were about to leave to go see the, yet again, theatrical release of Phantom Menace. And I said, I don't know. And I thought about it, and I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. So that's why I did it. So happy May the 4th, a little belated. And happy Phantom Menace back in theaters for the first time in 25 years. And I will say, I think there are problems with the prequel films, all 3. But all 3, my boys were young and really into Star Wars when they were out. So they will always have a soft spot in my heart because of when they were out and how we interacted with them, and of course because of this game. So that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.